Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So the next topic that we will discuss it is the effects of global warming. That what are the main effects of the global warming over the environment? As basically the global warming is just the simple increase in temperature of the environment or the atmosphere that is surrounding us. This increase of temperature is just because of some different things in which the first one we have it is the burning of the fossil fuels, then we have the burning of the natural gas, then we have here the exhaust from the automobiles, which is including the burning of the fossil fuels. Along with we have increase in the temperature, which is due to the many other factors. So all that increase in the temperature is just because of the increase in the concentration of the carbon dioxide in the environment. Now, what are the effects on the environment of the global warming? The number one, there may be case of the drought. It means there will be no water in the atmosphere or on the earth. There may be the shrinking of the glaciers. The glaciers may be started to shrink, melt out. There may be the food shortage because plants that make the food it may be less in the quantity. There may be more floods. Why there may be more floods? Because the glaciers are started to melt out and adding up the water, and it causes the floods. Then there is a rising sea level. The level of the sea rises, and there is the rise of the temperature. So these are the main effects of the global warming that may affect the human beings in one way or in the other way. So let's start the first one in detail, which is the effects of the global warming are in a simple way, starting from the first point, which is the melting of the glaciers or the icebergs. When they just melted out, the water is in the solid state and it will be converted into the liquid state. Now, why that just happened? Just because of the increase of temperature. When temperature increases to a certain level, then the solid water or the glacier started to melt and changes into the liquid, and it will cause the rising of the sea levels or the level of water in the sea is just increases. And when that level increases, the water started to move to the residential areas and causes the flooding of the low-lying coastal areas or the levels. When there is a flooding, it may be a dreadful condition for all the living organisms that are living aside. And when this condition just prevail, in turn, the result will be very dangerous. And when the flooding of the low-lying coastal areas just happened, then the sea defenses the breached, and the previously populated areas no longer will be habitable. It means the different people or the populated areas will have more water, and the peoples will not be able to get their habitat over there, and they will have more problems around. In turn, the global warming can affect the life of all the living organisms in one way, because if the one person is having their habitat and it may be snatched by someone else or some due to some problems, it may be a very dreadful conditions for that living organisms. After that, we have second is the increase of the temperature. As the increase of the temperature of our atmosphere, then that condition will not be favorable for us to live over there. As the conditions are not favorable, in turn, it will be difficult for the plants to survive, it will be difficult for the human beings and all the other animals to survive in this temperature. So, to sustain a better and a good life over this earth, we required a specific range of temperature, or we required a normal temperature. If that temperature is not attainable, then it will be difficult for us to live over there. Then we have the weather pattern changes due to the global warming. When there are extreme weather events, they started to reproduce using the supercomputer to determine if they are caused by the global warming. Now, you just have a look. The Earth that is undergoing due to the global warming. This is the reality of today's world. But on the other hand, here we have the Earth that is not undergoing the global warming, and it is the computer stimulation. So you can see that how much difference in between these two when there is a condition number one, when the temperature is low or normal. Second condition, when the temperature is high. On the other hand, the carbon dioxide concentration is low, and here the carbon dioxide concentration is high. Now there is no floods and no increase in sea level, and there is a proper making of food by the plants. But on the other hand, the condition number two, where there is a global warming, high temperature, high amount of concentration, or a high concentration of the carbon dioxide, there will be floods, and the sea level is high, or the sea level or the water in the sea level is high. In turn, the process of photosynthesis may also be get disturbed. In turn, all these conditions can also disturb the living organism in one way or the other way. So, the global warming has its great impact on all the living organisms. So, we must use less activities, or we must do the different activities in less in number, like the use of the aerosol sprays and the different substances to keep the level of carbon dioxide low. So, this was all about today's lecture. I hope you guys understand, and if you have any queries, you may ask me about that in the comment section. And the next topic that we will discuss, it is the sulfur compounds and their effects on the environment. For that time, you guys keep learning and have a good day.